hello, my lovely people. It's Monday. Oh no. But hey, we made it. This is the finale stream for my little gym goddesses. We're here at the last design with little gym goddess of December. And this is Angela Sasser. And if you don't know me, I'm an artist and writer and mask maker. I do a lot of different things, which you can see more of at angelasasser.com. And hello, Helen David. Good to see you in the chat. Feel free to say hi and let me know what you're working on during the stream today. And I'm going to put a little link to my main site in the chat for everybody. If you want to see more art and explore online galleries, you can do so at that link. So yes, it is a momentous time. Today's a really awesome day because we'll be working on this gal here, finishing up the very last sticker design in this set of 12. This was a birthstone set for those who are new to the project. This is a whole series of little gym goddesses that I've just redrawn in this fun chibi form. This is the last one that we finished, the previous design for the little gym goddess of November. And we're trying to, today, get this one to this level of detail with the shading. And I'm also going to put a little link to, this online gallery right here where people who would like to explore more about each of these goddesses from the series can go and explore them. So we're working on December today. And I'm going to put a link.
Birthstone goddesses. Online gallery.
There we go. So you can explore more. I'm going to get this one for reference, have it up in Photoshop. And for those who don't know the history of this series, December was actually the first one I ever made. She was a birthday present from my darling mother, and I wanted to combine something we both loved, which was Art Nouveau and Mucha, and just a love of that era of paintings. It's just so graceful, and she loved it. So I wanted to make her something special to represent her birthstone of turquoise and her birth flower of white narcissus. And thus this gift was born. And a lot of people were like, oh, I wish I could see my month. And then the whole series was born. So yep, that is how this whole thing started. And because I'm also a leather crafter, I do leather crafting just for fun, I thought I'd do masks for each one as well. So in these galleries you'll see a mask as well, and that's also my work. But anyways, the other good news of the day is that the same series for my Birthstone Goddesses had a Kickstarter going for the past few days, and it just ended this morning, and I'm so excited. I'm happy to share with you guys that it got 150% funded, which is amazing. So these pins are definitely going to become a reality now, and I just have to thank everyone who shared and backed. There's a couple of my Patreon folks in the chat here. Thanks so much, you guys. You especially have been encouraging and sharing, and that means the world to me. I am a real person on the internet trying to make these things happen, so it means a lot. So anyways, that's funded. Now I'm going to keep working on the next few Birthstone Goddesses in this set. But I just wanted to take a moment and say thanks. So, on to the art. And thank you, Helen. I appreciate that. It's always nice to hear the masks get some love because they're kind of like the side project within the project. I just do them for fun. But they're also like a lot of work because, as you can imagine, flowers have so many details and all of that. So let me get going here with my references. I'm working in Photoshop CC, the subscription version of Photoshop, using their brush smoothie to keep my lines nice and crisp. Okay. Failing at arranging my windows today. It's Monday, y'all. After that Kickstarter gauntlet, I'm ready to go to sleep. So after this session is done, I'm gonna finish up this sticker, celebrate by just relaxing and basking in a good day. So hope y'all have a good day too. Hope y'all had a good weekend. So, first thing I'm going to think about with this is always, oh, where's the light source coming from? And I tend to make that light source coming from sort of above and in front, so there's always a spotlighting on the face. So try to get a good idea of what that's like. And hey, Sandy, I forgot to say hi to you. Always good to see you in the chat. But yeah, I love how this one came out. She kind of has this like Elsa vibe to her with the let it go step forward she's got going on. So I always start with the skin because that just usually means I get to color the face where everyone's kind of has their attention grabbed by the character's face. That's a good place to start to make sure that entryway into the piece is effective. And also I just really like coloring the faces. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions in the chat. Feel free to let me know. I'm happy to explain anything. Hey, Echo. Yeah, she came out more adorable than expected. But that's a good thing. I like the idea that all of these are channeling that happy cuteness. That's exactly what this sticker series is all about. Chibis are just fun stress relief for me. These were actually inspired by my Patreon patrons who, because of their support, we unlocked a milestone where we get these stickers made. So now that the set is done, I can finally decide how I'm gonna get these to Patreon folks and when that's gonna happen, so I'll have more news about that for everyone soon. Oh, let me turn the music down then. Thanks for letting me know. I had to reset my setup, so some things are probably a little off. Okay, let me know. Is that better? How is my audio, you guys? Alright, thanks for letting me know. Every time I update my setup here, it's always a gamble. Oh, and you guys should also be seeing a little scroll box there with art from this series. Specifically, some of the works in progress shots for the Lady of December here. I do a lot of prep work, like fashion and stuff like that. So, you can see some of that progress and what went into these pieces in that window there, including the gorgeous mask photography by Winterwolf Studios. We collaborated a little in that she borrowed my masks and then put together these wonderful photo shoots with models. So that the photos you see of the masks are all hers. And I just love how they came out. She's so talented. She has such a sense of color. And yeah, I'm excited to get those stickers out too. I've been working on it for long enough. Then I'm just using the smudge tool to blend, soften up some of these softer cheeks. Smooth out some of these blending. Hopefully my computer doesn't crash today from the blending. It does not like the blending. We're still working on that upgrade for me. And with the smudge tool, I'm just basically smudging directionally and then going cross-directionally to blend. And then also lightly layering with the brush tool, which I have set to be more translucent if I press lightly, and that's always a good way to do things. And since stylistically we're getting rid of noses, let's get rid of this nose. She has this cute upturned nose. But yeah, feel free to let me know what you guys working on. It's always really fascinating to hear what people are working on. I've got embroiders. I've had people tune in who are doing embroidery. I can't speak today. It's Monday, y'all. Doing embroidery, writing, drawing. It's pretty cool to see what y'all are doing while you listen to streams. Hopefully I am good background noise. So I'm totally getting way caught up in the skin, so it's time to move on. Let's get these lips. And as ever, I always like to add a cool hint, usually a purpley hint into the skin, because I feel that works better. It keeps the skin from looking too muddled. The warm colors, the warm yellows in the skin tend to vibrate better or resonate better with the purpley undertone. Alright. Now we can move on to the lips. Oop, that's not what I meant to do. There we go. That's so exciting you're getting cosplay stuff done. I really would like to get back into it myself. I've been staring at Monster Hunter armor sets going, oh, I really want to try and cosplay some of the monsters that have like bioluminescent parts to them, because all these new fabrics exist that have fiber optics in them, and I just feel like that is the coolest thing ever. So I don't think it's gonna happen this year because we've got so much going on and other expenses to worry about than that kind of thing. But you know it's gonna happen. I would very much like to try my hand at Warbler. I was wondering how your baby quilt was going, Echo. That does seem like a real pain, but that the results when you're done are gonna be awesome. It isn't. Oh, I'm sorry. Hopefully you can figure it out. Quilting is just crazy. Now, since last week, I cannot remember why there is a strange overlap here in her pupil. What have I done? Let us see if we can figure it out. Weird. I think what it is the eye whites. Yeah, the gray is the background and then you need the eye whites to go underneath. So let's just color that in. This is what happens when you work on things like a week apart. It's like, what was I doing again? There we go, all better. And I had it easy with Little Lady of November because she had no eyes. That went much faster without having to agonize over the eyes. And with these gals, I like for the eyes to sort of reflect their gemstone. And I haven't decided yet how I'm going to do that with this one because turquoise is weird. Turquoise has crackles in it, and I'm not sure how crackled eyes are gonna look, so we may just say that she has turquoise eyes that aren't crackled. I think getting the color in there is important enough. But I am excited to paint those crackles in the border elements. Let's move on to the hair. And fun fact, the lady in this image was inspired by my mom. Modeled it after her with her dark curly hair, dark wavy hair, and olive skin. I think she will have some super shiny hair, so I'm going to leave the highlighting in the curves. I think when it comes to handmade quilts, people understand that it's sort of an heirloom type of gift, that people will have it as a sentimental item and they'll probably use it. They'll use it, but they probably will be more careful about using it when the baby is in barf mode. So like maybe once the baby is past the barf mode. Plus, it's just a symbol of affection and a really nice thing to have, I think. That you can show your baby when they're grown up and be like, look, this is handmade for you. I also really think handmade gifts are very special. It was very thoughtful to try and hand make that, though. If you're good at knitting, knitting is a safe bet for, well, I'm not sure you can really machine wash knitting either now that I think about it. Yeah, I can never quite get into needlecrafts either. I macrame, that's about it. Knitting and crochet just kind of frustrated me. But it looks so cool. I would love to make myself those cool scarves that have like the pockets for your hands at the end. I think those are the best. Oh, hey, Psykeen. Aw, that's sweet that you still have that quilt. I'm sure I have my baby blankie. Although it was not handmade for me. I keep things like that too. Shiny, shiny hairs. Although I will say, being based on my mother does not have turquoise eyes. Oh, so I always like to tell you guys about the stuff that I've seen. So I went with my mom and nieces to Lion King on Friday, and it was. I'm trying to figure out how to describe it to people because, like, I feel like if you've seen the original, you're still just gonna like that a lot more. And the animation was it was wonderful in that they can get so realistic with the animals now, but then at the same time it feels like the animals were always in neutral. Cats have such fantastic body language with their ears and just the way they can move, but I feel like the animals didn't move really that much at all. They just kind of sat there and delivered their lines. So, and like, the voice acting wasn't that good. Except for Timon and Pumbaa, they were fantastic. So, like, I'm kind of disappointed because of it. The original's still just better. And I feel like even if I didn't have the original in my head, the voice acting still wasn't that good. So that's kind of disappointing. But if you just want to see how awesome they've gotten at animation, it's worth seeing from an animation interest perspective, because that's one of the big reasons I went to see it. And I always like to... It's nice to get that chance to hang out with my little nieces. I keep redrawing this chin. I get this chin right, dang it. And see, now I've got to watch the original Lion King over again to see if my memory of it is as favorable. Although it's funny, my nieces fell asleep And I'm sitting there trying not to like loudly quote all the dialogue and the songs, because that's one of my beloved my most beloved favorite Disney movies. So I've seen it one too many times. You know it's bad when you sit there and basically quote the entire dialogue of the movie. I don't like the shadows, so we're gonna take it out. Alright. Okay, let's dive into those eyes. I'm actually gonna pull up one that has eyeballs to look at how I did the eyes, since we want to keep these stylistically consistent. Let's go with October. She had really pretty eyes. Oh, I can't forget the little cheek highlights I've been putting in these. I really like how October came out too. She is cute. Okay, let's see. But now, one Disney live action thing I'm really excited about is Mulan. And I think that's because it looks so different. I feel like I would enjoy these live action takes better if they tried a little harder to make them a little different so that new fans can have something to enjoy. Like, don't just sit there and reuse the same dialogue and the same storyboards and produce something that is boring because it's the same. Because they gotta be aware that their fans are growing up and they're going to see this too. But that also begs the question, like, are these movies for us? They may just be exclusively for new fans. But I feel like they do better gearing them to people if they added something new and more enjoyable. Kind of like if you're adapting a book, you know, like sometimes things work better in animation than they do in live action. Yeah, there's always a risk of alienation no matter what you do with a Disney movie, because it's so many people have attachments in different ways. But personally, I feel like they could try a little harder to come up with beats in the live action ones that fit better. Because there are just some things that didn't really fit well, that they did in animation that don't suit live action. So we'll see. I think there's, like, each time they keep improving it. Like, they keep taking little risks. I still need to see Aladdin, because I hear they've added some fun things in that one. That's something I hope to do this week. The other thing everyone's talking about is the Cats trailer. Which I feel like there was such a simple solution for that one, which is to basically just give them cat-like noses. That, I think, would have fixed the whole, like, hey, this face is pasted on appeal that it seems to have. you know, I'm kind of looking forward to that one, even if they have like kind of strange faces. Because I never ever saw cats on like the play, so I'm kind of excited to. I shouldn't outline this yet. I'm gonna shade the eyes a little more before I outline. More shading is needed. But yeah, I never saw the play. I've only read like summaries of that story, so I'm kind of excited to get into it in a movie format. And I love the music that I've heard from it, so I'm kind of tentatively excited for Cats. If only because it's something new for me. The lighting was really awesome in that trailer too, like just the way they lit and set up everything from that little glimpse we saw. Like the cinematography looks like it's gonna be on point. Although someone is really missing an opportunity to have the internet sensation of the ages by shooting cats with real life cats. Like, just take real cats and have someone overdub the lines from Cats in it. That would be an instant sensation. So if you got a bunch of cats at home, you should totally get on that. Have them reenact Cats. You will be famous forever. Hey, there are actor cats out there, man. There are trained actor cats. They could do it. I believe in them. What is Machikaro Mazoku? Sani, do tell us. I watched a new anime this weekend too that I will also ramble about. But I think I'll wait until I'm done drawing these peoples because low bandwidth brain processing pupils shading. So I'm gonna go a little quiet while I puzzle out the shading. Although I think I've got it. I think these look nice. Just gonna outline the pupils here, and that's the finishing touch for now. Then we can add some highlighting on top. All right, I'm happy with that. Though I see some areas where the line. There we go. Overlapping's not quite good. There we go. Yay. I have a good feeling this one's gonna come out awesome. Well, let's get these eyes looking more like orbs. So a magical girl wakes up to horns, cute tail, and clumsiness. Is the clumsiness caused by her tail? Or was that part of the demonic heritage? Oh, from the horns? Okay, that's cute. That does sound cute. So the anime shows that a friend showed us this weekend that were both really good, which I was surprised at because I've been kind of like, no good animes lately. Not that I get to watch any very often anymore. But the shows that he showed us were... The first one was called Fire Force. And it's done by the same team as Soul Eater. So it's got that stylized animation, but it's not as stylized as something like Soul Eater. It's much more grounded, even though there's a magical element. And the base story is basically a world much like our own, except that at some point people started spontaneously combusting for mysterious reasons. And they call these people infernals. And they've formed a whole team of special firefighters to actually fight the fires and put the souls to rest of the people who turn into infernals. And yes, I heard about how that show was supposed to be delayed, or was delayed, but somehow we were watching it at my friend's, so I don't know if it got released or he found early episodes, but you know, I didn't ask any questions about where he gets his anime from. But it was a very good show. I could see why they delayed it, though, if it was delayed, because that was a horrible tragedy at the Kyoto Animation Company, because it's not just because it's anime, but because that was like the largest mass murder post-war. They haven't had that many people die in an incident in a long time. And there's just more details coming out about how the building wasn't up to code, and that contributed to the death toll, and it was just a real tragedy. They were an especially progressive studio for women, hiring a lot of female animators, and it's just really disappointing that that had to happen. I know I did not hear about them being one of the few studios paying wages per month and not per frame. Because I know the industry can be very exploitative. But yeah, just a tragedy all around. And not just for anime fans. So now I'm curious if Fire Force did come out. Well, they definitely couldn't have planned that, you know. Like, it's kind of like this movie that came out over here called Crawl. So the same time there's a hurricane hitting Louisiana, you've got this movie come out that's like about alligators hunting down people during a hurricane, and this like daughter and father trying to get out of their house that they're trapped in with alligators. It's like, ooh. I was interested in seeing that, but I feel really in poor taste going to see it after a big tragedy happens. But yes, the other anime that I saw this weekend was Vinland Saga. And that was amazingly good. Like, I had it on my radar because I enjoy alternate history stories or stories inspired by historical events. And this one was pretty cool. It's an anime that has it's like a Viking setting. So, like, for example, one of the main character's mentors is Leif Erikson. He's like this crazy old explorer man that everybody kind of makes fun of. They don't believe all his crazy adventures. Yeah, I was really interested in the first episode of that one, even though, like I said, it's been on my radar because the art for the manga is beautiful. So I was gonna get the manga, but now the anime's out too, so I might have to get into both of those now. I was really intrigued to see what ends up happening to this main character, because there's a lot of, like, forces coalescing around him that show that his future is not going to be an easy one. And I'm curious to learn more about his family and where they're from, because they obviously have this legacy of, like, his father's hiding some stuff from him. So I was really interested in that, because I like Vikings as a subject matter. And the animation team is the same one behind Arslan, which is gorgeous. Another one I need to finish, because that one is also very inspiring for me. Oh, was it a history book too, the Vinland Saga? I did not know that. I have learned something. Let's see, we will come back and add highlights at the end. I'm gonna put off highlights till then. See, Viking history isn't like the thing that I've studied the most of, so I'm also intrigued because it's something I'd like to know more about. So that's cool. That's where the name comes from. Oops. I'll have to look that up after the stream. I knew about Leaf, but I didn't know about the book. And now I'm curious how much the animation takes from that story, or is it just very loosely inspired by, which it probably is very loosely inspired by. So yay, I'm glad to have some new anime to watch, because I still enjoy anime. Even though I don't get the time to watch it as much as I like would like to. So I have to kind of spend my time wisely. Yeah, like the last anime that I really got like stuck on, like I couldn't stop devouring it, was probably that's probably Psycho-Pass. And for those who don't know what that one's about, it's a lot of social commentary in it. It's basically an anime that takes place in the future where people have they have their psychological state measured by machines. So if you are sad or depressed, that can actually bar you from a job or flag you as a criminal. And it's a little Minority Report in that if you are shown to have an aura that is not healthy, you can be imprisoned because your crime coefficient marks you as a criminal. And the main character is this rookie cop who comes in and has to learn about this system and what's messed up with it, because with a premise like that, there's obviously going to be something messed up about it. No, they do not shoot a victim on sight. One guy was about to, but he was stopped by the rookie cop. Spoiler alert for episode 1, I suppose. But it's a pretty cool cop story, and also starts making you think about how people react, or how they're trained to react to things because of the way the internet is now, or how people are more likely to sit there and record something instead of like actually stepping in to do something. So there's a lot of thought-provoking elements in that one. But it is kind of heavy material, so if that is not your thing, definitely avoid. But I thought it was very, very good. Which I have season 2 of that one. I haven't even watched yet. Ugh. But I heard season 2 wasn't as good, so my motivation's been kind of like, meh. I'll watch it later. Oh, but another interesting element of that series is that the cops have a special team. So, like, the rookie's a regular cop. But the other main characters in the show are called hounds. I think that's what they're called. So they're these people that have a high crime coefficiency, but they've leashed them, as it were, to utilize their knowledge and experience to hunt down criminals. So it's like criminals hunting criminals. And these cops are issued a gun that's called a Dominator, I think, and it's like this cool like Judge Dredd gun that has all these different abilities. It's a really cool weapon, and like each cop is issued one that's DNA locked, and it's a really cool world in general. I guess I better stretch though before the computer gets mad. All right, stretch time, everybody. I needed to stretch. My neck's hurting a little today because I've been bad. I'm not doing my exercises. Do your exercises, kiddos. else you will end up with neck pains in your 30s. This one's good. I never thought to stretch my fingers out like this, but it definitely helps with wrist pain. Go figure. There's some old school anime I need to finish too, like the 12 Kingdoms, which is about this red-haired girl who ends up getting sent to another world where she becomes a warrior and has to deal with a lot of her insecurities. And I started watching that years ago and never finished. But I just remember it had really beautiful animation and a story that I would have enjoyed at the time, so we'll see if I actually still like it now. We'll see. Now did I get too detailed with this shading? I think I did. So I'm gonna knock some of this back. Knock it back. But sometimes I'm just appeased by having some pretty animation. I am shallow like that. This is the tough thing about painting metal, is that if you add too many veins and contrasting parts to show off the metallic texture, it ends up being too busy. And especially with these designs, you want them, because they're stickers and they're going to be at a small size, you want your values to be pretty readable. So we're actually going to darken this highlight here on the side to give the illusion of this being rounded. And also group these values together more strongly. And we're going to come back with highlighting and really pop these protruding elements with highlights, bring that gold texture into it. But I wonder about the pupils. I'm going to play with the contrast. I felt like they were getting too dark in the center there. And I want them to glow just a little bit brighter than the hair. Just so they stand out better. Always want to have striking eyes with these gals. All right. Oops. Make sure I've saved. Control S religiously, everybody. So I didn't put all these little knotwork designs in here. I thought about doing it, but then I'm just like, nah. This is meant to be a metallic type trim as well. So I'm trying to keep that in mind as I add some contrast into the bands. This is again using the pen pressure, just lightly stroking over each area to shade. Uh-oh. Okay, yeah. Photoshop slowed down there for a minute. I was going too fast for it. Oh, I finished Good Omens this weekend too, so that was cute. That's another book that I haven't read in a long time. I think I got halfway through it. But as what I remember, the casting for it was so perfect. The casting for the show. So I enjoyed that one. It was cute. I'm so happy to see Neil Gaiman stories doing well because he's one of my favorites. Like, he's done some of my favorite comic books ever, like Sandman. And I'm just so pleased to see his stories being adapted. Like, Sandman's about to be adapted. Then you've got American Gods. And, yeah, Coraline, if you remember that one, it was his too. And, gosh, there are others. My brain is blanking right now, but I love it. It's like a folklore fan's dream come true. Because I love to just sit there and kind of hunt out details about which folklore he's tapping for his stories. Especially in a show like American Gods, where they're always surprising you with, well, this person here is Anubis, or that person is Kali, or something like that. It's just a lot of fun. It is so strange, too. It's my kind of strange. So we'll see how they do with Sandman, because that's gonna be good. So you could shade these candles. And the trick with these, I think, is going to be that the light's bouncing back through the candlelight. So you have this kind of translucent effect going on with them. Which I'll come back on another layer and do the candlelight glow after I do this base shadow. I've heard of The Boys on Amazon. That one does catch my interest too. It's kind of like what I got from the trailer to that one is like, what if superheroes were closer to real people in that they just abused what power they had? And kind of in a comedy way too, but probably dark comedy from the looks of it. Very kick-ass in mood from what I could tell. If you've ever seen the movie Kick-Ass, it's kind of like that. At least that's the sense I got. It could be totally different. You can never tell with trailers these days. But yeah, I'm curious about that one too. Ooh, you got to see a sneak peek. How interesting. We've been getting all the good trailers now that San Diego Comic-Con was going on. They dropped the Witcher trailer, which I'm thrilled for. I'm a little more sold on Henry Cavill being Geralt. Even though his muscles were like so jacked, I was like, dude, are those CG muscles? Wow. Sandy says, well, one plot strand is a boy wanting revenge for the Flash equivalent running over his girlfriend. Or through his girlfriend, as it happens. That's interesting. So they're definitely going to be more dark with that one. Which is cool. Let's go ahead and paint candle glow in there too. Since this is such a small area, I'm not bothering with making a whole separate layer for the shadow. I can easily fix this with overpainting if I need to. Hopefully not famous last words. Can't believe this is the last one, you guys. It's been really fun getting to stream more and get to hang out with everyone more often. Look at me being all consistent with streaming and stuff. Alright, let's get to this dress, because that's another large portion of this composition. So I'm going to zoom out for this so I can get a better sense of the larger values. Oh, and of course, his Dark Materials trailer dropped as well. And I'm hyped for that. I will fully admit, I have not read the Golden Compass novels. But I did see the movie. And I always thought that movie, it was a shame that it never got any more movies in the whole series that it was obviously building up to. So I'm happy to see that that series is getting a second chance. Maybe it'll be more of what the book folks wanted, because as I understand it, the movie didn't really follow what a lot of the book folks wanted. But it seems to be HBO's new fantasy series, and I'm very curious to see where it goes. Kind of in it for Armored Polar Bear too. Like, if the story does nothing else, I'm just in it for Yorick Burnison. Because he's awesome. And that was my favorite part of the movie, the first movie they did. I think I got his last name right. Yeah, he was highlight of that movie for me for sure. Have there been any big fantasy series that weren't based on a book or game? That is a very good question. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Most everything comes from a book basis because it's a little easier to produce something that's going to cost you millions if you have some initial fan support for it. Like gambling on a big IP. That's why you don't see a lot of people gambling on a big IP, because they have to convince someone to spend millions on it when it could crash and burn. So they like to Oh hey, Dragon Prince, of course. Yeah. Dragon Prince is amazing, and for those who don't know about it, It was made by the head writer of Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is like, I finally accepted that I love Avatar: The Last Airbender as my favorite series of all time, even over Gargoyles, which was tops for me for a long time. Like, Avatar: The Last Airbender is just so good. Even Korra, once you get into season 3, was so good. Dragon Prince is on the Netflix. It's on the Netflix. It's a Netflix original, and it's very good. Like, the first season animation had some jankiness issues, but they've definitely fixed it. Oh, Lady Hawk. Lady Hawk was an original story as far as, you know, that might have been a novel. Never mind. I think Lady Hawk was from a novel. Either way, it was good. But yeah, Dragon Prince has a really cool world too. Like, the magic system of that is very interesting. And I love all the elves. Like, I love elves in general, so the fact that there are like tons of different kind of elves in that story really has my interest for obvious reasons. Wait, and Avatar: The Last Airbender, as far as I know, was not based on any kind of novel. Which they're talking about remaking that as a live-action series, so that would be pretty cool. Hopefully. We'll see. They've been talking about how they want to make like a more adult-oriented version of the story. And I feel like the story was told so well the first time that, like, why would you bother to tell it live action? See, that was my first reaction to the live action part too, is that the movie of that one was so bad. But the fact that the original creators are on board, like they're the ones who are behind the live action series, makes me more confident that they're gonna do a good job. I hope. We'll see. Like I said, it's hard to remake something that was so good in the first place. Yeah, and that is another question, is what exactly are they going to make more adult about it? And I think that's perhaps exploring, like, the sexuality of some of the characters, or the sexual orientation of these characters, without having to worry about a censor being on their shoulder the whole time. So we'll see. I'm tentatively excited, but also I'm kind of wary of, well, what does this remake mean? They've got to give us more details before we can make a judgment, yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm trying to have faith that the creators can do a good job. Because at least they're involved instead of it being like something totally different. Or someone totally different who doesn't quite understand the world or the source material. Oh, see, you gotta maybe take it in small chunks sometime, because I'm serious when I say that show is, like, the best show I've ever seen. The character development and the world are just so interesting. Avatar just did a lot of things that I think were great for a kids show. But something both kids and adults can enjoy. It's a good study in character arcs and just world building in general. Yeah, the Final Fantasy series sounds interesting, so I'm finally getting to some good story stuff in Final Fantasy XIV now that I've finally started playing again. Wasn't quite hooked by the story, like the story of A Realm Reborn. It's actually quite boring to me. So, but now I'm into Heavensward stuff finally after grinding through this weekend, and I'm getting a little more excited. Yes, I can definitely confirm, as someone who was bored to tears by A Realm Reborn, that it finally starts to have some interesting character developments and world building and all of that stuff happening in Heavensward. Yeah, it definitely shows that they were sort of building up the world from the reboot that they did of it and trying to wrap up those old plot lines from the older version of the MMO. You can see the growing pains. There's actually a super cool documentary on the reboot of Final Fantasy and how the developers managed to pull it all off on YouTube, if anyone likes that sort of thing. The channel's called No Clip, and they've done dev documentaries on Final Fantasy XIV, Witcher 3, Horizon Zero Dawn. It's really good stuff to watch, and if you're like me and like background noise that's informative, that's a really good one to watch. Or that channel, rather, is a really good one to check out. Okay, you know what? I've forgotten her cute pinchable cheeks long enough. Let's add those cheeks back in. Oh, remind me, and I'll try to poke Kev to link those D&D homebrew versions of the Final Fantasy XIV classes he used in our D&D campaign, because he used a lot of stuff. He used deities, he used the classes. If I recall, there's even a write-up for Dancer in D&D before they ever rolled out Dancer in the game. Toning down her clown cheeks just a little. Alright, we'll come back soon and add the highlights. Gonna get through all this shading first, which we're almost done with. Woohoo! say a lot of this cloak back here is gonna be in cast shadows. I'm fairly sure at some point I'll probably be streaming some Dragon Prince fan art because I really gotta draw. I gotta draw some elves, man. I am thirsty for some elves. And I would correct myself and say I mean to draw some elves, but no, some of the elves in that show are pretty hot looking. They deserve some fan art. Oh no, computer, you can do it. There you go. Make my computer work. Oh, though, for serious, I am working on an upgrade soon. Hopefully this isn't messing with my stream quality, making my Photoshop work on these smudges. Yeah, I actually need to do a memory check and see if my paging file is hitting some walls. Let's let it chug for a second. Poor old computer. You need to be Frankenstein soon. And we're gonna save on that note because that would suck to lose this. Alright, it might be highlight time. Yay! Oh no, it's not highlight time. I gotta color the cloak. This little bit area of cloak to shade. And the corset. Dope. Oops. I'm surprised we haven't seen anything of the Lord of the Rings on Amazon series, unless I missed it. I haven't been watching the trailers like that closely, so I'd be curious. Oh, excuse me. So if I really wanted to preserve memory, I would just copy this line art by itself into another file, because as it is, I've got the line art plus all the segments of the line art saved in their own thing. But I realize that now on the very last one. Otherwise, it's not really causing too much of a problem. It's just when I try to smudge. But I've always had a problem, like, no matter my version of Photoshop, smudge has always been an issue. But it's just such the best way to get some nice textural blending. I'm also trying to remember this kind of has like a satiny texture to it. So adding some reflections on the panel. And some gathers. Kind of like I did here in her original one. Yay, almost to highlighting. Whee. And remember, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat, and I will ramble the answer if I know them in the stream. Or I'll make up a very good answer. Perhaps very entertaining answer, we shall see. You have to ask you a question in order to find out. Oh, did the music stop? I think the music... Let's check it. No, music's going. It's just a very quiet song. I may have turned it down too much earlier, so we're gonna test turning it up a little. Yeah, it's very soft because I turned it down earlier, remember? It was drowning me out, apparently. Although maybe I found a good middle ground between the music drowning me out and still being there. Let's see, I'm gonna inch it up a little more. La 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 la. Okay, I've turned the music up a little bit, so let me know if it competes with my speaking. Is the music better? And now I think we are ready for highlights. Oh, no. I should just go ahead and finish up the flowers before I get involved in highlights, since I'm trying to save the best for last. Some of the songs might be softer than the others too, I bet. Alright, so now we're just gonna pluck out what elements are behind other elements to keep this shading very simple. Oh, Marvel had a bunch of good news this weekend, didn't it? We've got Blade coming out, more Doctor Strange. I'm very excited by the next phase of Marvel. Though I haven't even seen Spider-Man yet, which I really want to see. I'm glad there's gonna be more of Valkyrie and they're not gonna censor her. That's always awesome. Valkyrie was like, she's just amazing. I really loved her in the Thor Ragnarok. New favorite character. She's kind of a stand-in for Angela, I feel, who I also really loved back when she used to be in the Spawn comics, and then they kind of converted her over into a Marvel character after those copyrights were settled. Yeah, I keep hearing that Spider-Man post-credit scene is something interesting, so definitely have to stay and see what that's about. But yeah, I'm hyped for Blade because I'm a big vampire fan, and I have to admit, those movies, the old crappy Blade movies, were some of my favorites growing up when at the height of my goth girlness in high school. So I'm kind of hyped to see that being a thing again. My secret inner goth girl can be pleased. Vampires. Tykean, are you talking about Blade? It's hard to tell which one is the funny one, because I think they're funny when they don't mean to be funny, too. Oh, the after credit scene of Spider-Man. Gotcha. Alright. You think these need any more shading? Let's get those flowers done. There we go. We're just adding enough shading to give the sense of some depth in these flowers. Trying not to get too complex, which is a bad habit of mine. I think that's all we need. These for the flowers. Is it highlighting time now? I think it is. Though these weirdness that showed up, I want to fix. I wonder if I can fix it. Even though it adds some interesting texture at the same time. Let's see if I can just blend it in a little better. There we go. Just blending it in. We're blending. We're blending. I feel better. Okay. So let's see about this highlighting, which is always one of my favorite fun parts. Getting add the pinchy both cheeks. And the glassy lips. Highlighting in the hair always adds that nice anime style touch. But yes, Marvel's doing Loki as well, and I'm very intrigued by that. Like a Loki series on their new streaming service, which I don't want to have to spend money on a new streaming service, but oh my gosh, they're gonna have my entire childhood on there, plus some really good material for the Marvel universe, so I'm just like, Disney, no. Yeah, I figured you'd be excited, Psyche. And it's still with Tom Hiddleston? For a minute I thought maybe they would just have him show up every now and again and they'd have it like another actor playing his younger self. I'm not sure how it's gonna work, but I'm curious to see what exactly they're doing with it. That's right, Mandalorian's gonna be on there. They're gonna have so much stuff on their streaming service, and it so tempting. Well, that'll be a nice surprise if Hiddleston is actually there, like, on board for the whole series, and not just like a random guest star in it. We'll see. Then I bet you they're gonna I think I read somewhere they're gonna have all of the Gargoyles animated series on there too, which is a great thing because I felt like they didn't actually give the DVD releases of that much fanfare. So I'm interested for people who watched it as a kid to be able to watch it again, give that show some love, because Gargoyles is another amazing show that formulated my love of fantasy when I was a kid. Like, it taught me so much about folklore, because there's always some new folkloric figure popping up in that show, and I'd be like, oh, what's this? And I'd go and research it, and I'd learn about the Ulster cycle, or like, who is Coyote the Trickster? You know, it got me asking a lot of questions as a kid that got me interested in folklore. So that's another one of my favorite all-time series, and I'm glad to see it will. I'm fairly sure it's gonna find new life on Disney Plus. I've got my DVD sets of it, but for those who don't, because that release was so rare, I guess, it'll be nice that people can find it again on there. I think I'm getting too busy again. Yes, I saw that one about Alfred too, and I'm not sure about it because Gotham was such a glorious disaster. I like Gotham, but it seems like when they explore all this new side material, they just kind of make a train wreck out of what makes the best stories for Batman. So, I don't know. It could be good. I'm gonna give it a chance because I love Batman stuff. So, who knows? Even Gotham, for as weird as it was kind of a train wreck I couldn't avert my eyes from. Actually, it's still going, and they're doing some weird things with the Joker. His design is just strange. Look it up if you're curious. Because he's now more of this bulky, weird zombie monster thing? I don't know how to describe it. It's just indescribable. You have to see it yourself to believe it. Okay, I like that highlighting in the edges instead. It gives the effect like these darker segments are raised, and I like that. And it doesn't get too busy. Alright. Wow, we're almost done. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh. It's been a few months, hasn't it, while I've been working on this series. But now we gotta do these gems on the outside. So let's bring up some reference, shall we? Quick reference time. Ooh. Cool night. Thank you, ArtStation tab randomizer thing. I'll have to look that up later. Maybe something like this is kind of simple so I don't break my brain today. I like this kind of simple matte look with the just enough gloss. It's like semi-gloss with the cracks in it. That's pretty. Let's look at that one. Oh, but that crack was so pretty. It wouldn't show up at such a small sticker size, but that is super pretty. And now I'm just getting down a rabbit hole because turquoise is so pretty. I love it when it has like the gold bits in it. I love gold. Ooh, that one's cool. Okay, we're gonna just paste in this one reference. So I think I'm gonna do like, kind of like what I did with the flecks of opal in the last one, is just shade the matte cabochon first, and then come back in and add the cracks and the highlighting on the bubble of the cabochon. So let's do this. We got this. I'm not afraid of gemstones. You can't intimidate me out of finishing this piece. Alright. Let's do like a very soft. Oh, if you guys want a good laugh, I thought the fact that Jordan Peele released a version of the Cats trailer to the trailer music of Us, his horror movie, was hilarious. It fit. It somehow fit very well. And I say that as someone who actually wants to see the movie. I can still make fun of it. But it's almost like the opposite problem that The Lion King had, really. It's like they completely took the human face out of the 3D animation, which then leaves you with a whole other problem of, well, how do you process that emotion on a cat's face when they don't have any humanoid features, really? So then you have to rely on body language and movement and the way cats express with their ears. So it's kind of like what I was talking about with Lion King earlier, where they kind of missed an opportunity for all that lovely cat body language. Okay, I think I got my base. I think this is okay. So now, then I'll probably come back in once I get some segments and sort of highlight a little bit between the segments. We'll call this crick. I'm gonna cheat and just color pick from my reference material. We'll put this on multiply. And again, I'll probably be a little silent while I'm processing all these little decisions that have to be made while I'm doing these cracks. So forgive me while I have low bandwidth art brain. And then I think I can just come back in, sort of mold these shadows a little. Another reason to have the shadows on their own layers, so I can sit here and do smudge effects and not mess up my crackles.
No, I don't want to take a break. I'm almost done.
Okay, I guess I should take a quick stretch break and then we will go through, get the last bit of this turquoise done. Move them eyeballs. Gosh, when did it become 4? Getting into that flow state with this painting, which is always a good sign. I think I'm going to come back and add in just a hint of veining, since I noticed there's just the nature of the impurities of the stone. I see some white veins. Although I'm probably getting way too detailed for something that is going to be seen like from this far away. I think it adds like just a subtleness. Actually, no. Too much. Just gonna add them. Honestly, I don't think that it really needs any more work than this. If I were trying to make this hyper-realistic and it were going to be shown bigger, I'd probably go even crazier with some hue variations, like I'm seeing some gold. You know what, I kind of want to do the gold hue variation anyway, so we're going for it. Alright, come on, Photoshop. Catch up. Oh, I'm on smudge. Derp for derp for derf. I blame Mondays. There we go, okay. for the finish. Just a bit of a highlight around the edge to make this look as if it were polished. Et voila! The magic of highlights! Now, I don't think I'm gonna have the side gems be as super detailed as this with all these cracks, maybe just a couple coming from the edges. And luckily we can just do one and copy and paste the rest, so easy peasy. Gonna follow my shadow lines here. It's interesting how the crackles are kind of rounded most of the time. That's what gives turquoise that unique look. Just trying to remember what I did. I think we put this hue mainly in the shadows and along the cracks. Finally, the highlight, which we're just gonna put on. I'm gonna group it together since I have to copy and paste this. Alright. Now we just copy paste. We ain't got time for that. Call this bottom gym. And we'll call this one left gym. Let's take a look so that I forget anything important. I forgot the gradient. I've probably forgotten the gradient in the last few... Yes, I did. See, that's something I'll probably just add in as I'm preparing these to be used as designs. There's a little gradient fill I've been putting across the figure just to give them... to blend everything together a little better. Let's see, I got the borders. You can see where I can clean up these flowers. I see an overlap in the petal. Boop. I think I gotta add just a little shadow in between these closed blooms as well. I think I'm going to put a little edge of candlelight reflecting in her hair too. I might actually come back and put a little... You know what? These flames need an aura of glow around them because I've gotten really addicted to that style. Like the butterflies here have them, and little Lady of October has that glow effect on her little will-o'-the-wisps and her petals. So it seems fitting that there would be some haze around her candlelights too. But let's go ahead and... add some highlighting in the top of her hair. I think that rim light will help pop her hair as well. And then of course it'll get brighter the closer it is to the flame. And also pop in the top of this headpiece too. Okay, I think that's a good look. Now let's add some candle glow. I think I'll keep it kind of centered around the bottom of the flame and above the lines. Color dodge looks good. Ah, now we got some nice glow. Very nice. Now, do I want to go crazy with her snowflakes? Maybe they could use some glow too. We'll call it snow glow. But I'm not going to go too overboard. I think just a little bit of glow. And some of these key ones, like this big one could use some. This big one needs some. Maybe this one too. And this one. But that's it. That's it. We're not gonna go crazy. Angela, you're not gonna go crazy with this. Just one more. And I think these I want under the lines. I'll try it above and over and see how I like it. Let's try it above first. And then blur. Put that on vivid lights. Yeah, it looks better over the lines. Let's back up. Ooh, it's so pretty. Take down that glow just a hair. Since I still want the line art to be the star of this. Now we shall just stare and bask for a minute. Did I miss anything important? Is there anything else I want to add? I think, oh, you know, I like just a little bit of highlighting on the ribbons in her arms. Just a little bit of highlighting on her cloak too, since it's I think I envision this as a velvet cloak, so there'd be some little highlights in there to imply the velvetiness of the material. That also helps us pop that rim a little more. Just little key highlights here and there. Since these are metal bits. And drop your stylus on the floor because no reason. Okay guys, wow, I think we've hit the finish line with this one. I may change some things up before the final design, but I think for now I'm gonna let it rest and just clap and be happy we've reached the end of our journey with the Little Gym Goddesses sticker designs. It's been awesome getting to stream these and getting to know people better. So yeah, wow. These stickers will show up on my Patreon at some point, so if you really like what I've done, what I'm done here with streams and stuff, you can pitch in on Patreon and see how you can get one of these sticker sets for yourselves. I'm patreon.com/Angela Sasser. And as far as the streams go, now that I'm done with this project, I'm gonna take a little break because I've got Dragon Con coming up and a bunch of events. I've got to eventually move. Lots of stuff's going on, so this slot, I'll take a break, see what maybe the best use of time will be if I do come back and do more streams. I'm thinking I'll put up a poll on Patreon, see what people want to watch on the streams, like some ideas I'm kicking around, or like finally doing some cool fan art of characters that I love that I don't get to see fan art of, just having you guys vote on that. Or maybe I can practice some of my anatomy and you guys can watch how I study and learn things. Or just lots of ideas I'm kicking around. I'll put up a poll about that at some point. For now, just thank you for everyone who joined me during this journey with the stickers. They've been a lot of fun, and hopefully I'll catch you again when I do start streaming again. And for now, I just hope you guys have a great week. And I'm sure I'll be back to streaming at some point. Just keep an eye on my Twitch front page or on my social media. You'll see announcements about when I'll start streaming again and all that jazz. And all those links were at the link I put in the beginning, the angelasasser.com. So everyone have an awesome time, and I will catch you later. Thanks for joining me, and have a good day.